Hey guys, this is Alex or Malinsky PC. It's kind of just like my intro video, I guess. I'm just going to be talking a little bit about, I guess, how I got into lifting and kind of my own personal story and what some of my goals are right now. Flashback to about 4 years ago. I had been a competitive swimmer almost my whole life. That was the only sport I ever competed in, and I was kind of hitting a wall, I guess. And I was trying to figure out different ways to increase my performance in swimming. At the time, I wasn't really aware of strength training or anything like that. My parents never really got me into it. My coaches never really made us a focus. We never had like lifting practices or anything like that. I didn't eat a whole lot, so I was 6'1", and I was about 145 pounds or 150. Pretty skinny, not very athletic outside of being in the pool and running and stuff like that. So I decided to, I guess, start lifting a little bit. I read a little bit online about gaining weight and building muscle, so I started eating a little bit more. Didn't really know what I was doing. I'd go in the gym and just do some curls or lat pull down. Did that for a while, and then I started doing the 5x5 with the app, and then I also downloaded a calorie counter. So I used the calorie counter for about 4 or 5 months, kind of off and on. Probably stopped using it quite a bit in the last two months of that, just because I got used to knowing, I guess, how much I was eating. And at the time, I was trying to eat about maybe like 3,200 calories a day. So let me think. So I started 5x5s, and I guess when I first started, bench has always been, I guess, a weakness for me for my lifts. My chest never really developed that much, and I'm just not very strong on the bench press. So when I first started, gosh, I think 75 pounds was my max. Like I couldn't do much. Squat, I've always had pretty strong legs. So when I first started squatting, I think my first big deal thing was being able to squat a plate for one rep. This was like junior year of high school. So one plate. And then I just did bicep curls and stuff like that. I never really got into anything else besides the strong lifts 5x5s. Or it wasn't strong lifts, it was a different program. But the 5x5 program basically was you did two different workouts. The first workout A, I'll call it. It was a squat. If I'm remembering correctly, it was a squat, and then it was a bench, and then it was a deadlift, I think. And then the other day was a squat, a bench, and an overhead press, I think. I don't remember exactly. It was a year or two ago. So I did that for a while. I got my deadlift up, I think, to about 225. My bench, at that point, I still couldn't even bench a plate. I think I was at like 115, 125. Didn't really care about technique. Didn't know anything about technique. Never really learned about technique. Never really thought about it. Just kind of went in there and did it. Probably was not squatting to full depth at all. Probably looked like a fucking idiot, to be honest. Yeah, and I got my squat. Don't think I hit 2 plates my junior year. But yeah, okay. And then, so then I kind of, I guess, fucked around with the programming a little bit on my own, and I didn't really know a lot. So I started adding in stuff that I thought would be beneficial. So I started doing like rows and bicep curls and shoulder presses and stuff like that. Just like I didn't really do the same thing every day. It was kind of just like bro lifting. 5 reps, 8 reps, didn't really matter. I was just lifting. But I held a pretty consistent pace, honestly, since I started lifting, besides the times that I'll talk about where I really just could not lift. I've held a pretty consistent, at least three days a week schedule of lifting. So I did that for a while. Well, at the time, too, I was also a competitive swimmer. So that really, I mean, looking back on it, I feel like it kind of inhibited how much strength I could build just because I was swimming so much and I still wasn't really eating enough. So all that swimming, all that cardio was affecting um, all the work I'd been putting in because I was swimming 1 to 2 times a day, 6 days a week, probably burning a couple thousand calories at least every single day. Um, yeah. So from there, I started about 150 pounds, probably made my way up to like 165. Not a lot of noticeable difference in my body or my strength. I guess my squat and deadlift did get, I mean, it's to a decent point for somebody who never really lifted before, and bench was still really lacking. And then, let me think. I guess after that, I started. Oh, I looked up my a different program online. I don't remember the creator. I don't remember the name of it or anything. But it was like a full body workout. It was 2 different workouts. It was a full body, an upper body and a lower body, and then an upper body and a lower body. So it was a little more focused. It gave me a little more schedule to my workouts. One day it was, one day it would be like a, I don't know how to put it. Point is, only one of the 4 days I was benching, only one of the 4 days I was squatting, or one of the 4 days I was deadlifting. So I wasn't really making a lot of progress on my like main lifts in my mind, because there wasn't a lot of frequency, and I wasn't really, I was doing 8 reps, so not 5, so it wasn't really a program for, I guess, like building strength. It was kind of more aesthetics. And I didn't really know much difference between powerlifting, weightlifting, bodybuilding. I was just kind of lifting. Fast forward through senior year, kind of held on that same thing. Took a weightlifting class instead of working outside of school. That was a bad choice looking back on it, because in my head I thought I was getting good workouts, but I was not working very hard. I would maybe bench, do an incline press, maybe squat once a week. Honestly, I think if just held the same weight downwards. So let me think. Probably about that time, senior year, it was the first time I benched a plate for 1 rep, which was, in my mind, it was a cool thing, and I was really happy with it. And then could squat 225. I think I made it up to like 245, but I don't even remember. It was probably really bad form. Didn't really think about form at all ever, until recently. Yeah, so then fast forward to, I guess, summer after senior year. That's when I started really digging in and doing a lot of research and working on my form, etc. I still was doing the same kind of workout routines, but I started eating a lot more. I was probably at that time about 170. 170 sounds about right. And then through that summer, I worked really hard. I gained a lot of weight. I went from 170 to about 185, which I'd always wanted to be like 180 pounds. That was like a goal of mine. And I think my squat stayed the same. Didn't really do a lot of leg work. I did a lot of upper body work, which was a mistake looking back, but I guess that's just sometimes how it works. You're in the moment, you just want to get big biceps, big traps, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, my bench improved a little bit. I think at one point I benched 185, and that was a big deal for me. But I probably spotter was helping me. I don't know. I actually don't remember very much about it, except for the fact that it was a struggle, it was a grind. But at the time I was just benching like 135 for reps of 5. I wasn't really thinking much about increasing my weights and stuff. I was just kind of lifting. And then I got to school. Right now I'm at Gustavus Adolphus. I actually intentionally came here to swim on the swim team, because I wanted to continue swimming through college. But then what happened was, I took the summer off swimming to kind of give myself a little bit of a break, and all I did was lift. And then when I came back and I jumped right back into that high intensity swim program. I actually started getting really bad left shoulder problems. So I got to the point where I couldn't sleep, had to take pain pills. I couldn't raise my arm, my left shoulder. It was a really bad experience. I don't know if anybody else who's watching this has ever been through any kind of tendonitis, but it was shoulder tendonitis, bicep tendonitis, and it wasn't shoulder, it was just bicep tendonitis. So where your bicep connects to your shoulder, it was inflamed, and then I had shoulder impingement. So whenever I lifted my arm, it would pinch the tendon or the nerve. I don't know if that's super correct terminology, but that's how I understood it. So that was just terrible. That went on for like a month, and honestly, I couldn't really do a whole lot of lifting. It would hurt just to run, just like the motion of bouncing. I was not swimming. I was just having a really bad time. Sorry for the voice crack, but yeah, it was a really just a bad experience. Did some rehab, took some time off, and then I probably went about 2-3 weeks without lifting. And then I started trying to get back in the gym, but I couldn't really do a whole lot of free weight because my left shoulder was just so weak, and it still was in a lot of pain. So I did a lot for about 2 months probably. I don't even remember the weights. I don't remember much about it, specifically what I did, but I basically modified my workout from using free weights to just using like machines. So like a decline press machine, incline press machine, bicep curl, just like machines that isolated muscles so it wasn't hurting my shoulder so much. And I definitely lost a lot of the strength that I had built up over time. And then once my shoulder got better, I felt really uplifted. Like I was finally able to go back to the gym, finally able to work out again. And so I did some research. I wanted to change up my program, and I really got into watching guys like Larry Wheels, Juji Mufu. I can name a bunch of other guys, but they're just like really strong powerlifters. And then I also started watching Clarence Kennedy, who's probably my favorite weightlifter just because of his big online personality, and he's a really fun guy to watch. But I started watching those guys and seeing how they were training and how they were making improvements, and kind of reflecting back on how I never really had a plan, if that made sense. I kind of just did walk the walk, didn't really do much besides that, just go through the workout program, kind of add weights once in a while whenever I felt like it. So I did some research and I found a bunch of different powerlifting programs. I wanted to do, like, there were like volume trainings and high rep intensity, low rep intensity, etc. But I just felt like that was a lot for me because I have never been in any kind of program like that before. So I tried to find the most beginner powerlifting program, and for me that was Strong Lifts Starting Strength. So Starting Strength, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, or if anybody is watching this video, if you've heard of it. It's basically 3 different workouts. You do reps of 5 for 3 sets each, and then the deadlift is only 1 set. So on the first day, workout A, it's an upper body day, or actually there is no upper body day now that I think about it. It's a little bit of a mix. So the default plan is you squat every workout. So you squat, that's the first thing you do every workout. On the day A, so there's only actually two different workouts, not 4. I was thinking of the old program that I was running. But on the day A, let's call it, you would squat, and then you would bench, and then you would do power cleans. I think I'm thinking of that. Yeah, because power cleans are on the bench day. And I had never fucking done a power clean before. Like, that shit was way out of my league. So I started doing it with just the bar. So I started this program probably about 2 months ago. 3 months ago. At the time I was probably like 185 still. Maybe pushing 188, 190. But yeah, so I had to learn how to power clean, and that was a grind. I was very bad at it for a while. Still pretty bad at it. My technique is just pretty shit, and I don't have a good, like, my consistency is really bad. But I had a friend help me out. She kind of showed me some good tips on it. And then I watched a lot of videos, like Clarence Kennedy doing his. And another guy, my friend, he watched me do a couple and helped me build my form up to at least a decent rate. So right now, most I've ever power cleaned was 155 in a workout, and I did that for reps, and I actually did that on accident because I thought it was 145. But since then, I've only been able to get up 145. I have this like mental block that I have to get over. That's not the point though. And then the second workout day B, the original plan is to do a squat. I've actually changed that, so I do a front squat on day B. I think it's a good ab workout, and I like doing front squats too. and then you do an overhead press. Long time didn't really know good technique for overhead press. Just kind of grabbed it, pushed it up. But recently, like really recently, like last 2 weeks, I've been focusing a lot on getting the hands in this. When you roll under, you're right under it and get a good width grip. So then when it's up in front of you, you get shoulders under your hands and stuff. Yeah, so that's been good. My squat, I changed my form up a lot. I would be able to squat about 255, but it was not to depth before I started this program. It was my knees were really shaky. It was just bad overall. So I actually dropped my weight back down to 225, and then really focused on getting below parallel. So if you watch my videos, a couple of them are like, I usually videotape myself just to work on my form, but sometimes if I do some, like get a PR or something, I like to upload it. But I've been working on my form a lot, so I spread my stance out quite a bit. I feel like that's helped me since I'm a little longer limbed. It's gotten to be a little bit easier to get to depth, and I feel like I'm getting a lot more power out of it. Still don't know if it's perfect, but works for me. Bench form, I've played a lot around with that. For a while during the beginning of this program, I had a really wide grip, so it was almost to the point where it was like all the way out here, and then I'd come down and just kind of push it up. But now I've been doing it, so I watched another video tutorial about getting your elbows beneath your hands again. That's what you want when you're down in the lock position before you're pushing up, and that's helped me a lot. Yeah, so it's a little better form. Now that I'm thinking about it, probably should have done that earlier, but you know, we're there now, so that's all that matters. Yeah, and then I was eating a good amount too. I'm still not very good about the whole eating thing. I don't really love like disciplined eating. I just like to eat. Usually it's pretty shitty, but recently I have been making some life changes, and I'm trying to eat a little bit healthier. I'm only on like day 2 or 3 of this, so we'll see how long it lasts, but hopefully it will, because I feel like it'll help me a little bit more. Right now I'm at college, as you can see, and we don't have like a blender that is easily to wash. I don't really get to make protein shakes very much, but once I get back to the summer, when I get back to my home in the summer, I'll be able to make a lot more protein shakes and stuff, and it's kind of more of a relaxed environment. But yeah, getting to now, so I was a swimmer, skinny, some basic lifting, hurt myself, a little bit more experienced, not really experienced, but just like novice type lifting, gains weights, gaining of weight, and then now I've been for about 2 months on this program starting strength, and I had my first max day. I kind of just went for it 2 days ago. I did my 3 main lifts, which are squat, bench, and deadlift, and I do sumo deadlift because I have a really hard time straightening out my back. Straightening out my back on conventional, whether that be just me being weak or me being like having a long torso. I don't know. I just really prefer sumo. And then I went and had some dinner, and then came back and did front squat, overhead press, and I was really tired, so I just went for power clean max, but it was pretty bad. It was only like 145, which is less than I've done for reps. But my squat, my goal for a long time was to be able to squat 315. Never thought I'd be able to do it, especially not to depth. But I did. I hit 315 on my squat max. I'll throw up a video of that after this. It was a good feeling. Definitely a good feeling. Bench has always been a weak point for me, but I actually got it up to about 190 I think. Before my max was 185. Right now I'm doing 160 for reps, so getting up to 190 was pretty good. I'm happy with it. Hopefully I'll be able to keep increasing it. My next goal for that is definitely getting to 225. And then for my deadlift, my max before, actually I tested my max about a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I could only get up 315, and it was pretty shaky. Like my back wasn't the greatest form, so I dropped my weight down to about 285, and then have been building up reps since then. Right now I'm doing 315 for reps, and I got my max up to a 355. And it was a grind, but honestly, my form was good throughout. I didn't get a video of it, but it felt good. So I was really happy with that. Like 355s, I know people are squatting fucking deadlifting like thousands of pounds and shit. But for me, 355 was a good PR. Then I went and had some dinner, and then I came back. I did front squat, which I only started doing probably about a month ago. I didn't really know the form or anything, but I've been working on it. And my original goal was just to front squat 225. Like I'm really happy with that. I'm front squatting 205 right now for reps. So I got to 225 and it felt really good. So I kept adding 10 and I did 235 and then 245. And 245 was an absolute grind and my back was I felt like I was about to drop it forward. But somebody spotted me and watched my form and they said I wasn't terrible. Wasn't bad. Like I wasn't arched over or anything like that. So I counted it and didn't go for anything more than that because I knew it would just be a bad time. Yeah, so and then I did overhead press. Again, I'm not really suited for overhead lifts right now. I'm more of like a leg dominant type lifter. I don't know if that's even a word, but I kind of think about it that way. Overhead press, I was trying to get a plate up. That would have been a good mark for me. I'm currently doing 120 for reps and I got up at 135, so I was happy with that. And then again with the power clean, 145. Honestly, it's more just about working on technique. It's not really about the weight. I fail like 2 of 3 reps, and then the third one I hit it perfect, and I don't even know what I'm doing. So yeah, it's kind of from starting of lifting to now where I am. I guess I'm about 2 months into my novice stage of lifting after being just kind of an idiot at the gym before. So hopefully next time I do a little update like this, I'll have some good gains, be a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger. Yeah, so I guess if I'm going to go over some goals, I've always wanted to hit the 1,000 club, which is main 3 lifts, squat, bench, deadlift, equal 1,000 pounds. Right now I'm at 860. A squat of 315, bench of 190, and a deadlift of 355. So if I can get my squat and my bench and my deadlift up enough to get 1,000, that'll be a big deal for me, because even just when I first started lifting, that's kind of like a cool milestone I've always wanted to experience and be a part of that club, even though I know a lot of lifters are. I know there's a lot more experienced lifters than me, a lot stronger people than me, but for me it's just kind of like a personal sport. Since, also, I didn't really talk about it, but after my injury in swimming, I decided to stop swimming. I had a really long run. It was really fun. I've been swimming since I was like 8, but it just got to the point where I really dreaded practice. I really dreaded just kind of everything about it. Just not having a good time the last couple of years, and so I just decided to spend my time in a better way, something that made me mentally more happy, mentally in a better place. And I played rugby for a season. That was fun. It was a good experience, but it was kind of like a short-term thing, kind of like a little transition phase, I guess, because I wanted to still do a sport, but I wanted to mainly just lift. So I did some rugby and kept lifting. That really took a toll on my body. It might be a kind of a wimpy thing to say, but it did. It kind of affected my workouts a lot because I'd always be in a lot of pain from practices and meets and stuff like that. Or not meets, games. So this spring I didn't play rugby. I'm just lifting, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So next year I'm actually transferring to the U of M Carlson School of Management, and I'll be working out at Los Campeones, which is a really cool kind of like a locally owned gym in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities area. So yeah, goals for me, 1,000 club, stronger, bigger, do well in college. Yeah, so thanks for checking out the channel. Scroll through the videos a little bit. I have some old videos of me when I was kind of a gamer. When I was a little kid, I made a couple tutorials and stuff, so that those videos got a little popular, so I just left those up because I think they're a little funny throwback. But yeah, I'll keep uploading lifting videos, some other videos maybe thrown in here and there. I got a GoPro. We'll see. Thanks for checking it out, guys.